What up, O'Jizzle?
Call me Tony, please, my brother.
I didn't call you OG. I called you O'Jizzle.
Okay, then I can accept that.
But what up, Tony?
What's happening, brother Kingpin?
Oh, man. Episode 4. It's like a
Episode
dynasty
4.
now. It's official. It's not official tissue till we hit 100. That's the
Okay, thank you.
That's the podcast,
Thank
the unwritten rule.
Thank you.
But, it's like we're on our way. We're on the 4th chapter, if you will, the 4th edition. Feels good.
Yeah, and this time we get to go into our because we might have been remiss in our first couple of episodes without actually introducing ourselves or figuring people would know who we were. They'd know who you are for sure.
Okay.
But like what we do and what we stand for, we came in talking about some problems and some solutions. And at the same time, we do have steps. We do have a school, an artist academy. We're not just selling admissions to the school. We're also teaching. We teach kind of a lot. Those who seeking knowledge.
Right.
I'll tell you like that.
Yeah.
So don't let me overtalk.
Yeah, no, we don't want to force it down anybody's throat, but for the ones that do go looking for it, we want it to be available for them. Oftentimes, I will say that most places that you would expect to find the information available, or most platforms or people or whatever that you would expect, maybe do so behind a wall or behind, something else. It's never clear.
Well,
and I think hopefully what we're doing is clear.
I had a conversation today with an artist.
Okay.
Very well-known artist. And he was speaking to me about something that you taught me about.
Okay.
And we're talking about him not necessarily having to follow trends.
Right.
And sometimes he might even start a trend every blue moon here and there.
Right.
And at the
shout out to TikTok. And Young LA, ain't I? They're having their moment, right?
Yeah. Hey, LA is back.
I wonder why T.I. and Dro haven't mentioned anything. Okay, but don't let me sidetrack you. So, he doesn't have to follow trends.
There's an interview, I didn't watch it, but the headline says, why T.I. and Young Dro can't get along with LA. But I didn't watch the video, I just saw the...
Right, well, shout out to the podcasters creating content. I was wondering the same thing. I hadn't heard or seen anybody from that side. I just seen him perform somewhere. They just brought him out. He's been doing a lot of pop-up appearances.
Yeah.
And the crowds have been going crazy. So shout out to the artist that, created a memorable moment or created a song worthy of being revisited and cranking back up all over again. So that's pretty cool.
And a piece about, I don't want to seem like anti-trends, because part of the tagline in this episode is no trends required.
Right.
Because, some people trendy and some people not.
Right.
Some people traditional, some people eclectic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was talking to this artist earlier and we were talking about trends and the fact that he's never followed one, that he's always been able to be authentic. And
right.
That's something that's, I don't want to say new, but pretty much new to the current music business,
Right, he doesn't follow any set models, if you will. He's, business is business, but, he's his own person.
Yeah, and it should be like that. His argument to me, or his, not even an argument, we're just running it, but his 2 cents to me was that the people who work with him should be invested in the art as well. As far as having a consideration, he was speaking of his marketing team that he has.
Right.
That had went through and helped him select certain songs. Really asked him to get out of the way.
So they can help A&R it.
While they could use the current atmosphere and...
Where we are right now, where music is. The climate of things.
Yes.
Okay.
So they asked him, hey, man, quit trying to tell us what you feel and what you want to come out with first to prove a point personally.
Right.
And let us do what's best for you musically.
Get out of your emotions and out of your own way and allow us to implement some business savvy.
And so the conversation was about trust, really.
Right.
Because most of the time, artists would not trust the marketing team to develop these things. A lot of times, unfortunately, artists sabotage the marketing plan by doing what they want or what they see somebody else doing or believe what should be done. Is that too extreme?
No, I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. So the argument's point or a topic of discussion for this statement is that artists go against the grain?
The point of the discussion, I think, with this particular artist I was talking to was the difference in marketers and marketing.
Okay, so trust. He has to trust his team to be able to do it, and oftentimes
Well,
they feel your A&R is a mountain climber that plays an electric guitar. Shout out to Wu-Tang.
And
So how do they trust that?
so this is what's happened for him. He's finally landed, and it's a guy with a 12, 15-year career. He's finally landed with a team that has a distributor that talks to him, that can get him in the studio to record as much as he wants. And then based on the atmosphere and the climate, of course he shares all his music that he's making with them.
Right.
And then based on the climate, they curate releases to drop in certain. For example, he's got an A1 distributor now.
Right.
So Amazon has an April promotion.
Okay.
For rap. Should get 250,000 to 2 million streams for each song that's submitted in this.
Right.
Distributor submitting it, and has scheduled his music for release without his knowledge for what's best, because they were putting together some music to drop later for a longer term.
For what's best. I like that. What's best.
Yes. And so if that's still in play, and since the weather's cleared some,
right,
they're going to go outside and drop the top for a few
severe
days.
clear. We're going to go out here and surf around.
Yeah. And so
slide through the country.
I'm saying all that to say it sounded so much like tactics that we would use.
Right.
And sometimes that we get frustrated with our clients by wanting to do either or have this.
I don't need to be doing that. Why do I got to do that? Right? Why do I got to do that attitude? That's crazy to me.
And the either or, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. When we can do both.
So as an executive, OG, how do you combat that when somebody walks up to you, when an artist walks up to you, and gives you the blues about what they don't want to do? How do you fight that?
Really, to be honest with you, I rarely deal with artists these days. I just had to get away from artists.
We're dealing with them now. Thanks for tuning in, artists.
Yeah, just
we appreciate you guys.
Like I find myself in interacting with artists. I find myself going over the same lessons over and over. Like, because some artists are looking to learn, some artists are looking to succeed, and some artists are looking for attention. Some artists looking to get them a little freaky backstage action after they get off the stage. That's all they want.
Right.
They want a name in their city, or they want
a bottle and some no wait in line.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys that want that, and I don't know how to work with those guys.
Right. That's how they measure success. How many clubs they can get in for free. How many people they can bring in the club for free is how they measure success. I get it. And so,
that's just, I didn't come into business learning that way.
But how do you consult somebody? How do you consult a label CEO? How do you consult an investor? What's the best way to deal with an artist that is giving you the gripes about what they have to do versus what they get to do?
Personally, I solved that problem by not having a public persona. You don't know me, artist. It's like, who is this dude? I don't know. Good. Because the majority of you really aren't prepared to do what it's going to take to succeed. It takes more than you believe it's going to take.
Yeah.
It costs more than you're willing to put up.
Yes.
And not that you're cheap. It's just running a business requires sacrifices. And you're an artist. So the business mechanisms, those pieces, they all run off of you. And if you're an artist that wants to keep your head in the clouds and hope that one of these songs is going to make you famous or deliver your dreams and your aspirations, then more power to you. I don't want to rob no artist.
Of course not. Yeah, we're not dream killers.
Ever. I'm not going to watch you do the same thing 100 times and then never benefit.
Right.
When I know it's a better way. When I know how to get you some money. My start in the business was helping people get some money. And then in the process of that, I learned the betrayals and the lies and all the different things that go with
the deceitfulness.
Yeah. And I just rather not play.
That brings me back to like what you said earlier about trust, Most people that have achieved any type of success in this business on either side, on the artist, on the creator side, or on the executive label side, they'll all turn around and tell you the same thing. Don't trust nobody. Don't trust no contracts. All the platforms are stealing from you. All the lawyers are crooked. Yeah. All the accountants are cheats. All the label staff is incompetent. Nobody knows what they're doing. You shouldn't listen to nobody. Do it your own way. Don't let nobody kill your dream. And all of those things, it's a constant bombardment of that.
It's like your drunk uncle telling you to quit school and learn how to shoot dice so you can make some real money in the street. It's up to you. If you think that that's how that works, I know a lot of dudes who quit school to shoot dice to make their money in the street.
Right.
Some of them rich. Some of them dead. The path for the artist is dependent on the artist. The biggest thing that I like artists to know, because when we start talking, especially sometimes when I start talking, like I might sound so authoritative, like I know everything.
Right.
When I'm really just sharing with you what I've learned.
Right.
I don't know nothing about this stuff. I didn't know anything about this. A 20-year-old artist that been committed to their craft since they was 8, 9 years old, been at it in music longer than me.
Right.
Don't matter if I got lucky, met somebody that was going to be successful and was able to be on their team, or if I tell the story like I built the marketing plan and established this artist and got him an 8-figure deal. Whichever one of those versions or perspectives I choose to take,
right,
the onus and the core of the artist's success was the artist.
Always.
And that's why I don't stand on nobody's shoulders and try to say I'm a giant.
Right.
It's always on the artist. So like when people ask, well, who have you worked with? I might have not worked with them. I might have just helped them. They might have just called me in the middle of the night asking, hey, bro, how do I fix this? They might have walked in here when I was on the phone with a DSP.
Right.
And said their name, and the person on the phone said, who is that?
Right.
And I said, oh, that's superstar such and such. And
right.
I said, I got a check for him. There was a time when I got an artist a check. I expected.
But nobody is strong enough to hold up the weight of anyone's expectations.
And so I had to back away from the business to back away from the camaraderie of helping artists to get my business together. And to get my business together led to less friendships and buddyships and just more progression in the business.
Yeah, the word friend is heavy. You know, business associate, co-worker, classmate.
I prefer partner, business partner.
Any one of those words is better than the word friend, because friend has a heavy implication to it.
In what I do, because like I'm kind of past the age of being called a crash for my friends.
Right.
Just having a whole bunch of friends or people that we call friends or people that call me a friend. You can call me a friend and ask me for something, and that's cool.
Right.
If you ask me for something that can make you some money, the least you could do is respect the fact that you should pay me.
Right.
And just because you may not, that's why you probably don't have my phone number, because you might not.
I don't think there's any company that stays in business operating for free. I mean, even charities operate off of donations and, grants and funding and things of that nature, because somebody has to get paid to come in there and do those things. And granted, there are volunteers. And I think that's what this podcast is. I think that's what the numerous other podcasters in the business that take whatever they've learned or whatever they've discovered and then use their platform and their celebrity or their community value, if you will, to share that with their audience or their followers and their fans. Because I think we've entered the era of the doer.
Yes.
More so than ever before, because DSPs are new. Social media is new. This is a new concept. So the fact that there are people graduating from colleges and universities with music degrees that don't know how to implement this stuff is the fundamental root of the problem. There's a disconnect behind the person that teaches you what steps should be taken for a contract and what steps should be taken to balance a song out, what steps should be made to pick colors for designs. So all of those things are taught in the facet of the music business. But I don't think there's anyone aside from, a hand group of people that give you the steps for correcting the vast majority of issues that artists that decide they want to wake up today and just drop music that they put themselves in. And I may be going out on a limb, but I'll say 7 out of 10, maybe even 8 out of 10 that woke up and decided to release music without doing any type of research on the best practice is still releasing music incorrectly today.
Living the dream, baby.
Still to this day, they're still doing it incorrectly.
Living the dream,
and then expect to see results that no matter how many conversations or checks they pay or anything, they won't be able to yield those results. And I think one of the most necessary things that has to be done is we continue to let people know that the information is out there. This is when they need to do it. This is when they should do it. And if they don't know how to do it and they want it done, then that's where we come in.
Gotcha.
Our services are here.
Right.
And extended to all of you, all of our watchers and anybody that it extends beyond music. It goes into branding and media and platforms and
So
Bitcoin, digital currency.
can we go into the plug and the play? I was reading a Reddit thread.
Okay.
And it was
I got beef with Reddit.
Not a popping Reddit thread.
I got beef with Reddit, though. We'll talk about that later, but I got beef with Reddit.
We'll have to reach out to Reddit because the Uncut Game Pod Reddit community and Reddit account got automatically banned.
Automatically. Our groups, we created like 3 groups and they got like banned like instantly.
It's Uncut Game.
So I got beef with Reddit. But okay, you were on a Reddit chat.
I was on a Reddit chat.
On a thread, I'm sorry.
Thread. And a lot of the artists, it was an artist in there that said, like, who can he actually learn from? A lot of the marketers are just spewing and reciting the same information.
Right.
Do more content, do this, do that, and the artists are saying this doesn't work for everybody. In saying that, what I want to get to is a release strategy idea.
Okay.
Just something that it could work for artists. It has worked for artists that we work with.
Right.
And then it's something that somebody may throw out of the window and say, F that.
Right.
Like our last client did.
Right. There's a lot of artists that have, and a lot of executives that have their ideas of what a release strategy should look like. You know, you have the loaded today, drop it todays. Mm-hmm. You have the loaded today, drop it tomorrows. You have the, I don't have anything, but I want to drop it on my birthdays. Or I don't have anything, but I want to drop it on my mom's birthday. Or, you know, I want to drop it on, you know, Easter or whatever it is.
I was running it with Chadwick.
Okay.
In the laboratory. And I have well, I don't have. Chadwick has. And the CEO Whisperer.
Okay.
Have a blog post for the reason why the release times.
According to social media posts.
Yes.
They've been waiting on that. They've been asking us, like, man, when y'all going to send this information out?
That's done. And so that's what I'm going to talk about it now. So since that's done and that's going out today, the plug and the play that I want to talk about is about creating some consistent value.
Okay.
With releases and merch and going outside. I don't want to start too or jump too far ahead. It's a lot of artists out here. So when you put
11 million, I think you said on one episode,
in chart metric, 11 million.
Sheesh.
So when you're preparing to drop your record, 135,000 a day this year so far. It's 134,999 other people dropping a song the same day that you're dropping. Whatever day you choose to drop it.
Whatever day you want.
It's a 6-figure competition. Maybe you the best. That's not what's going to make you stand out.
Like sperm. It's a rat race. It's 100,000 if you only one is going to make it to the promised land.
The rest of y'all getting excreted.
Oh, God.
Or wiped up on the rag and rinsed down the sink.
It's the reality of it, man. And I
don't want to get mean, so check it out.
I'm not trying to be mean, man. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I don't want to make it seem like I don't care, but that's the attitude that people have forced me into, is to why show you that I care?
It's funny because I'm really the one that don't care.
Right.
I don't care. You're going to figure it out or you're not.
Right.
You're going to win or you're going to lose. It's not going to affect me at all unless you know where I live and you get so broke that you come break in my house to get something to eat.
Right.
I'm not worried about you doing me nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But I don't want to see you lose. And so in saying that and working with different artists who are trying to figure it out and having the same frustration as them.
Right.
And trying to figure it out, dudes dope, trying their hardest, working their best. We started finding certain, I don't want to call it patterns or nothing. What we found out was that if you can craft your rollout to include multiple songs over the period of time that you're planning, you have a way better opportunity of getting some editorial playlisting, some editorial placements on front pages, and things of that nature. And so we like to, unlike a lot of people who run and gunning and making it look good and ain't making a nickel off of their music,
right?
We like to set the deck. The Amazon opportunities, they're there through your distributor. The YouTube opportunities are there with some work and some consistency.
The truth is, OG, most of these guys that got distribution, they don't even have access to the Apple pitch platform within the distributor. Most of these guys just went and got a logo and got a website and to charge you money to distribute records, and they don't know how many strikes you need as a distributor. So it's like it's pointless to even go down that road because
let's
Let's not go there.
If these people want a episode on distribution, we can talk about distribution.
I mean, we have a couple distributors that are coming along the line. We're kind of gonna let them come in when it's ready, when we're ready for them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're even ready to get there yet. I think we've talked about, performances and touring, and right now, the conversation that you want to have right now, the plug and the play, is the only way to be able to deal with a distributor once you've gone beyond the DistroKids or the CD. Nothing wrong with DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, United Masters. If those platforms work for you, continue to work them. Once you've gone beyond those and you're dealing with an independent distributor, which may sound like a euphemism, for small fish, a boutique distributor, right? Whatever. Once you're dealing with somebody that's not one of the majors, and you're able to establish a relationship, then in my opinion, in my eyes, that would imply contact. I can talk to somebody with a name that's not just at an email. And I think that comes with planning. Mm-hmm. So the conversation that you want to have is necessary. The distributors that I want to talk to, they won't talk to you about music unless you give them the rollout that you're talking about.
That's the part where I don't think a lot of artists may not realize that the music industry, I'm a believer that the artist is the industry now. Right. That music is a division of technology. So the music industry made the artist a consumer, especially the independent artist.
Right.
You got to pay for use of studio time. You got to pay for a cover, pay to get mixed and mastered. You got to pay for your distro. You got to pay for videos. You got to pay for this, pay for that. You got to pay for everything. And then in all of those things that you're paying for, it's highly unlikely that you're paying for your copyright. Learning what you actually need is more important. No, is as important as the level of belief you have in yourself.
Okay.
Not knowing, you might not need to know it all, but the minimum with this craft and the talent you got that you want to know is how to get your money in case you get the attention. And it's the songs or hits like you believe. You want to at least know how to get your money, man. When we saw the big homie complain about his payout for 1 billion streams, I went straight in and just glanced and said, okay.
That's why we do audits.
3 to 5 million.
That's why I do audits, because you're not going to sit in front of a camera and lie to me.
One M to the pub. Okay. Y'all don't own the mechanicals. You got a sample in the song. 13 songwriters. Okay. And how much he said he got? 45,000? Yeah. It's about right. 9% of the $500,000 that was left after everybody else got paid as a contributor. That was about, but at the same time, but that's 1 billion streams. If it had been his song that he produced, that he licensed and put out on Death Row himself, he'd have made a whole lot more money.
So that's why I said I do my audit, because you'll get up here and you'll nail yourself to the cross, and you'll tell people how horrible it is, and then you'll call us 2 days before you get to Atlanta and be like, yeah, bro, I want to go on a media run. What do I got to do? And you're like, bro, you was just online.
You just did one of those.
You see what I'm saying? That's exactly why I'm using it as a point of reference. Like, you're one of the biggest in the world. Yeah, bro. And 2-3 days before you get here, it's like, man, I want to come down, and everybody got to stop what they're doing to help me. And, truth be told, most people in the business would. Yeah. Because they want to hear what you have to say, especially if you got a name with some motion that they could use to tie into to reach more people. But how do you plan that, bro? How do you plan to benefit from that? And I think that's what this rollout is.
So let's talk about the plug-in.
Okay.
Let me talk about the rollout instead of, because I'm just running.
Drop today, drop tomorrow, bad idea.
So
what's the earliest drop date?
Me and my partner from Excellent Entertainment, we got a joke.
Okay.
I want to flop tonight. Got to put it out tonight. I want to flop tonight. Kingpin says, I want to drop tonight, Kingpin says to artists all the time, call whoever you love the most and ask them what they waiting on. Right. If they don't say your new music.
Oh my God, I started so much controversy on Instagram with that one.
Nobody's waiting on it, bro.
Shout out to No Labels Necessary.
A lot of people believe that it's people just waiting on their music. Man, people living their life. So you have to prepare and present your music with you don't got to do this. You do what you want to do. You don't got no plan. You freestyling. Cool. Freestyle what you want. And make a plan for those pieces that you actually concerned. And
what does that look like? What does making a plan look like?
Making a plan might be, we'll make it simple. We'll say a 6-month plan.
Okay.
We'll make a plan from May to That September, October.
May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September, September, October, October, November.
We'll go May to November. We'll make it.
That's the rest of the year.
We'll make
Industry shuts down after that.
We'll make it May to December.
Okay. So you got summer and holiday season.
Yep. So today, we go in, we collect all our music, our information.
Right.
We choose our distributor. We upload our songs. We upload a song for May. And this is just a summarization. You upload a song for May, a song for June, a song for July, song for August, song for September, song for October, song for November.
And we load them all in March while we're here. At the beginning of April while we're getting our stuff together.
Yeah, we're gonna load up these 7 songs.
Right.
And then in sometime in July, we're gonna take all of these 7 songs and add one to it and gonna make that an EP that we drop in May.
Okay.
In December.
In December.
Just so that we can pick up some money when the holidays coming. We should have enough momentum to not have to overly run ads to get us some traffic.
Right.
All right? Because we've been rolling.
Okay.
So, boom, our song comes out in May. What happens in May? The song comes out. Then what's next? The lyric video or the visualizer. Like, this don't work no more, OG. And tell that to your cousin or somebody, bro. You can drop your song and your video and all of these things at the exact same time if you got some traction.
I think we did the audit on Joe. His lyric video had 1.6 million views.
So
prior to the music video dropping, about 6 or 7 days before that. So
I deal with a lot of investors that don't believe this stuff works because they dealt with a lot of marketers who scammed them into spending a lot of money for numbers, and the numbers don't build a base that allows the artist to grow.
Right. The cheapest ad sets that you can buy are overseas.
And then the cheapest ad sets you can buy in the United States are mostly to transient users, brand new users, people with cheap phones. That's what you do when the digital marketers tell you that they can do something for so cheap, the level of people they reach and don't spend. Because people say, man, ads don't work. And the way Joe run ads and the way Buddy Joe run ads and the way Joe Blow run ads, it's all for the numbers to make you feel good.
Right.
It's all
the endorphin release.
Yeah. Instead of building a community and a base of people that you can carry from social media and drop at your website and let them run around until they find something to buy.
So part of my plan is going to include ads. So I got 6 months from May to November. Mm-hmm. I've picked a song for each one, and then I've identified that sometime in July I'm going to have that 8th or 9th song so that I can drop an EP in December with 2 new records.
One or two. 10 songs is an album. 10 songs is an album.
So 1 or 2 will get me into December with an EP with a new album, if you will, with these songs. Yeah. Now, I'm uploading everything at one time. I'm not uploading the EP and the new songs in April, am I? Or am I waiting till June, July to do that?
We may even do that in August.
Okay.
Once we have some traction and some understanding of our place in the landscape. We come out in May. We have our content dropping every week. Right. Visualizer, lyric video, official video, behind the scenes video, reaction video that's overlapping the next song dropping. There's no gaps.
Right. Okay.
Song 2 drops and that same thing happens all over again. Song 3, and all the while that these things are happening, the budget, because you got a plan. So if your budget is $50 a month, you're going to spend $50 with somebody that can get you seen more.
Right.
$50 that's going to get you, if it's for flyers. If it's for stickers to go put on gas stations, it don't all got to be digital. If it's for gas money to get in to park and get in the club so that you can go network, whatever your budget is, you got to commit to that every month. Those things will or will not, may or may not make you successful.
Of course.
The parts that ramp up the success rate are the website,
right?
The email newsletter sign up,
right?
And the merchandise,
right?
The merchandise, we've been over this a bunch of times, man. $50, $60 hoodies, same amount of money as a million stream.
Right. Yeah, you could sell tangibles. You could sell non-perishable items for 1,000 times more than what you sell your music and give it away for, basically.
And we trick the people by putting the music on the merch and incorporate it into the merch so they're wearing a song name or an artist name, whether they want to support the music or not.
Right.
That's just, for artists to not want to go and make $25, $50, $150 a pop, preferring to hope that they catch an algorithmic playlist to get 100,000 streams that's going to pay them $300 in 60 days is crazy.
Right.
So
Right. If you got people that want it, you can go to platforms like EvenBiz, or if you have a distributor, you can get your pre-save links so people can start downloading early and stuff like that.
All that. That's another piece of the boutique distributor is you can take those songs and you can have them distributed as a sound just to social media.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram only, right?
Yeah, a month in advance, 2 months in advance, just to test and see. You can put it up and have it taken down if you're using a distributor that interacts with you.
Right.
No knock. I want to make sure I say this too. No knock to the big distro companies, because a couple of them, if you're persistent enough, you can get a conversation out of them. Most of them they just doing business, sign up. It's an automated funnel.
Right.
It's a few guys, a few places that will have a conversation with you and will let you know if something works the way you surmise or if it doesn't.
Some of them will give you one conversation, and until you stream, they won't give you another one.
Well,
there's no need to.
Once they give you that one conversation and explain to you what's expected and what you can do to benefit yourself along with what they're going to do.
Right.
Because like when I'm talking about uploading in advance, that's not just for the artist, that's for the distributor.
Right.
If we upload all of this to the distributor and then call bro, hey bro, I got 7 songs uploaded now from May to December. From May to November, I need some pitches. I'm trying to get Black August. I need June, Black Music Month. I need a few looks, bro. Going
Shoot, on. NFL, Amazon, isn't Amazon and the NFL doing Thursday Night Football?
We
had it. That's what I'm throwing it out there. It's, you got to start planning now. If we're dropping in May and you're talking about having a record drop in December, I might even try to drop a Christmas song and throw it on my EP as a bonus and record it this week, next week. So I can try to impact, man.
So check out my play is that today we get all of our stuff, or tomorrow, whatever. However
we make a list today. We start making our list.
We get all of it together. We do our uploads.
Okay.
According to our schedule. If we got to buy a big calendar, if we got to jot
desktop
it out
calendar, right? Or a Google calendar, iPhone calendar, a Droid calendar on your phone.
I'm old school, so I got the big calendars, the little calendars.
Right.
I write stuff down. I use my phone.
Those are fairly inexpensive. You could probably get you one of those big desktop calendars for like maybe less than $10 at a Walmart.
Definitely. And you put your dates in there so that you remember what's going on. And then once that's scheduled, now you get to go outside and test the climate. And you can still drop songs when you feel like it if the climate changes or you catch a wild piece of inspiration. At the same time that you're looking like you're freestyling, you got a whole systematic set of plans along with the budget and the ideas of what you're going to spend on each period. It could be every 2 weeks as you get paid. It could be monthly. It could be every other month.
And this plan is not for those people that are sitting on music. Can I say that?
Well, yeah. If you're sitting on music, if you got some, I'll say it to you like this.
Okay.
I don't normally interact on the creative side, and that's because when we got music that we trying to cuff and hold, I say delete it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, put it out or delete it.
If you don't want to put it out, delete it.
You waiting until you a superstar to put your best record out? Okay,
Crazy.
then bye. I'll holler at you. Keep your money.
Right.
You good. Hold on to your art. Hold on to your jewels. You the goose that laid the golden
to the record egg. You feel is your best record.
Yeah. You the goose that laid the golden egg, and you won't bruise butt cheeks all your life. You're going to sit on them. So bruise your butt cheeks, I'm going to go about my business.
You know what they give the goose that lays golden eggs?
To eat.
More to eat.
Yeah.
Swear jar.
Swear jar. You got me.
Yep. Swear jar. They don't give it filet mignon. They don't feed it extra. It stays in the same pen as the other geese. So the 6 months is really just to give me an idea of how much time I have to do the work I need to do to be able to see some type of movement with my record.
I kind of like the 4 week because the pitches go to the DSPs
right
in 4 week increments, and then us being able to show them a regimented schedule
right
that we're going to actually sacrifice this much art in pursuit of interacting with their algorithm to bring them, the DSPs, more traffic to view and listen to our music. That's the partnership a lot of artists miss. You're getting plays that don't pay you a lot. But if you get followers and profile subscribers on the DSPs, they get more alerts in their emails. They get an alert every time you drop music. These are the things that we suggest for people to build, because that million streams that you're chasing at whichever platform, Spotify 3K, Apple 4K, say they lie and say 5,
Right.
Tidal 12K, whichever one of these places you're chasing these million streams on, a million hits to your website is going to negate all the ideas about that. Them numbers at the streaming site is going to be cool. You get to selling that merchandise, you get to doing some performances, then you got a bigger budget to put behind yourself. And that's why I put ads last.
Right.
I put ads last unless we got a structured investor. If it's a self-starting artist...
I mean, I don't get me started, because I don't believe that you can put ads. I don't believe that any of this stuff can be ran fully unless you've done that. I think giving you 6 months allows you to do the work to say, number one, this is how long it actually takes me to do these things that have to be done, whether it's get a cover, film a video, put the money to the side, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. This is what I need to do in order to make sure that my songs are going out, so then I can see who's really listening. You know, a marketing plan looks so much better when you have a window of 6 or 7 months of this is what I'm going to do, and then this is what I'm going to do, and then this is what I'm going to do, and then when this happens after I do all of that, then I'm going to take those results, and then I'm going to and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to add ads, or I'm going to add influencers,
because the very wicked and honest truth, the evil and honest truth is that 6 months in that EP might barely or not move the needle at all. You're just getting your feet wet. You watching somebody telling you what to do. You didn't go and do your research and try it yourself yet. You haven't been through it to actually do it. So you're going to be learning along the way. So this first 6 months might not do nothing for you.
Unless they watch the podcast.
Well,
if they watch the podcast, then every week is gold. Yeah. Just the first 3 episodes, we gave them the checklist and that they needed to blow them out of the water.
And they don't got it. Like it's things to pay for, but you don't got to pay to learn. This part is free.
Right. Yeah, the information is free. The hustle is sold separately.
Yeah, the hustle that's on you. If anything is too confusing for you to understand and you need assistance doing it, because all of this stuff we learned how to do over time. So you can learn how to do it too. That's why we're sharing it with you. It's not some government secret or some secret sauce. I can give you all my ingredients that I cook with and turn you loose in my kitchen. When you bring me a plate, it won't taste like what I cooked. So we can share this.
That's going to taste like what you cooked.
Exactly. It's going to taste exactly like what you cooked.
And that'll be based on your level of understanding of how flavors are mixed and infused and created and temperature. And
your preference. Do we got any cheat sheets for this week?
Yeah, we actually do have the cheat sheets this week. We have the master ingestion document, which
I asked for the cheat sheet.
I think it's... This cheat sheet is something that we're giving away solely for the people that don't know when they want to drop music, OG.
Okay.
And the master ingestion sheet gives you 365 days of the calendar, what day it is today, or what day you loaded your music, and then it gives you the best days to aim for. So if you sit down and you say, okay, I have my 6-month calendar, and I have 6 songs, and I want to drop my first song May the 1st, you can look at that calendar, and it'll tell you what the best days to pick from for May 1st. And then if it says, okay, the best day for this song would be May 29th, then you go down here to May 30th, and you look down and it'll tell you what day you should schedule that May 30th song for. So it'll kind of give you a roadmap 365, and we also included the leap year calculations for those rare events every 4 years when we get that extra day on the calendar. Cool. It doesn't throw anybody off.
And so with the CEO Whisperer article explaining why the pitch times are the way they are or what they do for you.
Correct.
You can use that master ingestion document to shoot for some of those.
Those are the sweet spots. Those are the dates that you can get and leverage the most support from the people that need it. So if you need support from a distributor, 135,000 songs a day, who knows how many records that distributor is responsible for. Don't you want to be able to contact them and have them give them enough time to give you the attention that you need? To give you more than just opening and skimming through an email and replying to it, maybe putting an action plan of their own together and saying, hey, artist, I love this plan, but if you'll notice, 2 of the dates that you picked on your pitch are going to be holiday dates over here where I'm at. Maybe we should consider moving those around this date, or allowing them to formulate a kind of a helpful plan, some suggestions, because nobody's really going to tell you what to do in this business, because God forbid you succeed or fail, you're going to find somebody to blame and nobody to give credit to, right? So they're going to give you suggestions, and I think The best suggestions are provided after those people have all of the information. So if you're expecting your distributor, a DJ, a producer, a songwriter, a service provider to give you suggestions on what you should do next, I think you have to provide them with all of the information that they need. At a minimum, it's respect so that you can get the best out of them instead of the quickest. I want the best you may have to give me. I don't want right now. I just don't want to waste time. Information is the most valuable commodity in the world. In the music business, time is as important as information, and more important than money, because some of the things that you guys want, some of these playlists and some of these services and features and stuff, you can get with time more so than with money. Because if you get it with money, you may not be ready to reap the benefits, like we've discussed in the past 2 episodes with artists that had an amazing opportunity, and because of some maybe not enough timing or not enough forethought or not enough forecasting or not enough access to the information, they didn't make some of the best decisions relative to their business that could have stimulated their finances a little bit. And that opens the door to bring in more people, bring in more creators, bring in more campaigns. I think it was Drake who recently did a campaign with some influencers where they played a song, and for every X amount of thousands of streams, they got a percentage paid out to them. It's like, that's ingenious. There's all of the ways. I just was watching Ye. And I don't want to talk about Kanye. I'm not talking about you, Kanye. I was just watching Ye say, or he unveiled Bully on Twitter, and he doesn't like the system. Why didn't you call EvenBiz? Like, why didn't you call any of these platforms that you could have dropped Bully, and people could have gave you $100 for the album if they wanted to on some Nipsey Hussle swag. And then you could have gave them the pictures. You and Bianca could have went and did a whole photo shoot. You could have went and gave. I get goosebumps, bro. You could have gave them access to all of the shirts. You're selling the shirts at $10 a wop, $15 a wop, bro.
Before we get into Kanye,
just using as an example, I think somebody who doesn't want to do the DSPs.
I don't want to knock.
He doesn't want to use the DSPs, and he's a very vocal figure when it comes to releasing music. People still listen to him. He moves the needle when he talks. And he said something that could have used a little bit better counsel.
This thought just bust into my head like a kick door route. You can do not using the DSPs for your music if you're an artist is like not using the highway, traveling coast to coast. Yeah, it costs more. It's tolls. It's police. You might get wrecked or ran off the road by a drunk driver or somebody stupid. But if you take the side roads, it's going to take you so much longer to get there. Right. So when we thinking about that, Ye is a dude that's highly advanced in the technological space.
Right.
And so I don't have neither one of us have a critique of him.
Absolutely not.
For what he's doing in the space.
He's a creative genius and a business genius. Look what he did with Super Bowl and funded his own ads and made his own money. The team made great moves.
Then got banned. It's like we don't talk about how when he does his expressions to make his plays,
right,
to make him some money, some pocket change, swastika shirt, Super Bowl commercial, gonna make him a couple million. He's a billionaire, but he get his whole account banned. That ban wasn't about the swastika shirt. I don't believe. I believe it's about the tens and hundreds of thousands of $20 Yeezy items he's been selling since he bailed on Adidas.
Right.
You feel me? And so this is where he also has a point in saying that the people, they kind of bullying him, so he became a bully.
Right.
He became
and just like any independent artist that has leveraged that type of position, I would expect them to use that bully mentality and bully the system into doing what it is that they want. And I think for somebody like of that caliber artist or any of the other artists that demand the people's attention and can move the needle when they talk, I believe that with a little bit more structure and a lot of bit more information, they could really make the moves necessary to change the system completely. Because that's an artist. There are a few artists in the world that could really come in and disrupt things if they chose to do it on their terms, the best way. Like, this is the best way. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now give me what you want to do. This is the best way. Can we do it the best way? Now, what do you want to do with it the best way?
I don't got the answers, and I'm sway.
Right.
I don't got the answers.
None of us do.
I believe we should go on and end this episode, sir.
Yeah.
So we can get on to the next order of business.
Yeah, man. I'm Kingpin, a.k.a. Rap Juggernaut.
And I am Tony. I am the Connect. Hey, don't forget about the Art Rev Soul Academy, though.
Yeah, laylow.com/Artist Academy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you found any of the information in this episode helpful, make sure you visit artrevsoul.com. Look out for some of the blog posts. We're going to have the information, the master ingestion, and a link to the CEO's Whisperers article on the best dates in the description, as well as the link to the master ingestion form, so that you guys can start making the best decisions moving forward. So we appreciate you guys tuning into the Uncut Game Podcast, episode 4. 5 is on the way. Salute.
On the way. Bloody nickel.
Appreciate you guys.